Hey, Goblin. So for Monster Week, I was thinking
Oh, hey, Skyler. I heard the theme was dragons.
Yeah, I was thinking since we both play Yu-Gi-Oh, we could work on a collab... Oh, okay. So that leaves me with...
Listen, I'm sorry, Skyler, but Blue Eyes White Dragon is clearly the most iconic dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh! And so...
You took it?
I took it, but you're better at Yu-Gi-Oh! Than me.
Listen here, you might have the first-rate deck, but you're a fourth-rate duelist.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
It's time to do.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is both a trading card game, manga, and anime, conceptualized by Kazuki Takahashi back in 1996, the year of my birth. So obviously, because of that, I was clearly destined to play this game, become king of games, and one day defeat Skyler and send his ass to the Shadow Realm and make this video. But not in that order, I'm still working out a few of those things. So in Yu-Gi-Oh, powerful sorcerers play a children's card game to summon monsters. See, I mentioned monsters like D&D. See, this is all still D&D related. Please don't click off. They play with a deck of magical cards that can summon big monsters or cast big spell or lay traps. And typically, the more famous cards like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and even Red Eyes Black Dragon, these all have archetypes built around them.
If your monster is so tough, then let's see if it can take her down. You fight me with fruit? Don't mock me!
These are other supporting cards that have been designed to bolster that specific monster in unique ways throughout each duel, while also further enriching the lore behind it. Each artwork tells a story, like this spell card, for example, Burst Stream of Destruction, that depicts the signature move of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Through this card existing, we now know that this is an ability of Blue Eyes, and in its description we can see that it says that it destroys all monsters your opponent controls. So we can deduct that Blue Eyes White Dragon has a big laser that destroys everything, hence the name of this move.
As a matter of fact, my first words were neutron blast attack!
So, Skyler and my mission is to take our given cards, Blue Eyes White Dragon and Red Eyes Black Dragon, and research their archetypes and come up with some fun homebrew content inspired by the lore of these cards. So let's dive deep into the world of Blue Eyes White Dragon and see what we can learn about this creature and how we can apply its themes, abilities, and lore to create some fancy homebrews for you. Nice little things that you could take away come the end of this video. So to better understand Blue Eyes, we first need to better understand the Yu-Gi-Oh universe and how the winner of a children's card game time and time again has determined the fate of the entire world. Duel Monsters, originally called Magic and Wizards in the manga, a name that was quickly changed due to copyright issues, is a children's trading card game in the series Yu-Gi-Oh, where players take turns summoning monsters by playing monster cards and support them with both spell and trap cards. These monsters battle each other in attempts to land an attack eventually against the opposing player and drain their life points, like losing hit points in Dungeons & Dragons. See, we're still on the Dungeons & Dragons side of things, guys. This is not just a video for me to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! However, unbeknownst to most characters in this series, this simple card game was actually inspired by dark rituals performed by ancient Egyptian wizards to summon monsters called Ka from an alternate dimension to engage in what they called shadow games.
This duel's now a shadow game.
Show some originality, Merrick!
The sorcerers transported themselves into an alternate reality where cheating was also somehow forbidden, but our main protagonist does it all the time anyway.
Now, Stone Soldier, destroy the moon! Doesn't it seem strange to you that a castle that's lost its flotation ring is somehow still floating? When this turn ends, each and every sword will vanish.
Run, monsters! Get out of the way!
It's no good. The Chaos Shield is keeping them from running anywhere.
Anyway, these shadow games and the summoning of Ka ultimately led to a massive war and the world nearly ended and yada 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 blah blah blah. The main thing is that these sorcerers summoned Ka using these massive stone tablets with pretty engravings of the monsters to be summoned. Cut to 3,000 years later, along comes Maximilian Pegasus, the president of a big old gaming company, and decides, hey, I like the game that these evil wizards used to play, and so begins to design a card game for children using these giant stone tablets as reference images for his creations. But now, the spirits of these Ka now live within these mass-produced playing cards and can be summoned through shadow games to destroy the souls of children who play this game, and potentially even the whole universe, but that's a whole movie. Listen, all of this is to say that Blue Eyes White Dragon is one of these cards, and although the playing card is very powerful in its own right, the actual Ka version of Blue Eyes turns out to be one of the most powerful beings in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh universe, rivaling the power of even Egyptian gods. And therefore you could almost say that they are a god. To summarize it even more, Blue Eyes White Dragon pretty good. Even with all of this lore and the very card's description depicting it as essentially this perfect being, this powerful engine of destruction being virtually indestructible, the owner of Blue Eyes White Dragon never ceases to find new ways to make it even more powerful, through fusing it with other versions of itself or other creatures, or altering its form with powerful spell cards, all in his pursuit to one day somehow defeat his sworn rival Yu-Gi-Moto, or more specifically, the Pharaoh Atem, who lives within this little boy. It's a lot. I know, Yu-Gi-Oh is fucking crazy. It's really weird when we start hyper-analyzing it like I've been doing. But again, the point I'm trying to make is that this card, Blue Eyes White Dragon, is essentially the ultimate being. It is all-powerful. You could even say it is perfect in every way an engine of destruction needs to be. And yet, there have been like 20 different versions of this card. We got Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternate Ultimate Dragon, Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, Blue Eyes Max Chaos Dragon, Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, Solid Dragon, Spirit Dragon, Toon Dragon, Tyrant, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This is just a few on that list. There's so many, and they keep making him stronger to keep up with the meta and everything else. But, lore-wise, it makes for a very interesting story. And not only that as well, this entire archetype revolves around making it even stronger beyond that, with this interesting theme of sacrificing it or other similar monsters to resummon or summon a more powerful incarnation of it again and again. Many cards require Blue Eyes White Dragon to be in your graveyard in order to summon him. Or even if we just look at how to summon Blue Eyes in a normal way, which is something no one does in the card game, you need to sacrifice 2 monsters in order to summon it. 2 beings need to be unalived in order to fuel the power of this monster. Blue Eyes White Dragon, in a way, is the perfect symbol of rebirth, in a similar way to how a phoenix is, but returning even stronger than ever with each revival. Blue Eye's entire existence seems to revolve around the pursuit of perfection through sacrifice, despite the fact that this very creature in its truest state is already perfect. It already has everything it could ever need, and yet it seeks more. And this perfectly mirrors this monster's owner, Seto Kaiba, who despite his best efforts, despite all the money in the world that he throws in front of him that he gets from his $1 million company, Kaiba Corp.
Fire whoever designed that bottle. Kaiba Corp's products shouldn't bend that easily.
Yes,
He
understood.
still cannot seem to defeat his greatest rival. This man has it all. He has money, fame, all the cards in the world he could ever want, and yet he seeks more. To be fair to him though, he doesn't really have many friends nor loved ones who support him.
Nice outfit, dork.
And that's probably like the root of this problem, but for comparison's sake, just like Blue Eyes, he too is seeking perfection, and he will do almost anything to achieve it. And yet, by the end of this series, he still hasn't achieved his goal, and the Pharaoh returns to his own time, leaving this world forever. But do you think that stopped Kaiba? No, this dude literally invents time travel just so he can go back in time to fight the Pharaoh one-on-one, one last time. This dude is obsessed. This dude is fucking crazy. But there is one thing that rivals Kaiba's obsession with defeating the Pharaoh, and that is in his obsession with Blue Eyes White Dragon itself. This man built a custom jet in the shape of Blue Eyes White Dragon. He has had a card made of himself, which has been printed and distributed all around the world, that depicts him cosplaying as Blue Eyes White Dragon, and he's not even shy about it. This card is literally called Kaiba Man. His love for Blue Eyes is so strong that he once sacrificed a god just to play it in a duel, and somehow this managed to even change his very future. The power of his love towards Blue Eyes White Dragon changed his entire future. It changed his entire destiny. Okay, so what have we learned? Number one, this man's crazy. Also, Kaiba worships this dragon like a god, and he wants to be his waifu. Blue Eyes White Dragon is a perfect being, but despite this, both it and Kaiba are forever bound in their pursuit for perfection, and the main way Blue Eyes achieves this goal is through sacrifice and rebirth, coming back stronger than ever after each death, kinda like a Super Saiyan. And so, okay, hear me out. So what if we made a character who is obsessed with perfection? Let's call him Kai. You just call him Kai without the buh, just Kai. Now he's an original character. So what if Kai started his journey with everything anyone could ever ask for: a loving family of a noble house, mountains of gold, and followers who adore him. But what if there was one small, innocent flaw in this young noble? For despite having everything, there was one thing Kai desired more than anything else in the world. He wished so desperately to be a great warrior, a noble hero like the tales of old, that he could be forever remembered in the legends told long after he's gone. One day, a mysterious sorcerer entered his kingdom, and within the throne room, before all of his people, challenged the young man. If Kai could defeat this sorcerer in single combat, the sorcerer would make him into a legendary warrior and cast a spell that would have him be forever remembered throughout history as the greatest hero that ever lived. And so, unable to contain his excitement, Kai leapt from the throne and drew his sword against the mysterious individual, full of promise. But despite his greatest efforts, Kai couldn't land a single blow. He tried and tried again, but with each failed swing, the sorcerer would return a light blow in kind. A slap here, a shove there. Kai was made a joke of, and before long, his people and even his very family were laughing at him. The fight went on, and the wounds that Kai got started to get more serious, and very soon the young noble could barely even hear the laughter around him, both due to his exhaustion being on the brink of death, but also due to his undying resolve to achieve that dream, to be a hero. And as the boy lashed out with one final ditch effort, the sorcerer saw that the child may actually wound him, and so, not taking any chances, struck true and ended the young noble's life. But this was only the beginning of Kai's journey. As his soul was being swept away to the next life, he was greeted by a glorious, shining white dragon with eyes of blue, eyes that never missed a single detail, and scales that could never be pierced. I wish I was as powerful and noble as you. These were Kai's last words before he woke up in his own grave. He was given another chance by the great dragon with eyes of blue, and so he crawled out of the dirt only to realize that years had passed. And since then, the mysterious sorcerer had been adopted into his own family and now counseled the very king himself. But a sudden realization came over Kai. The magical effects of the sorcerer's deal still lingered. If he could still defeat him, if he could beat the sorcerer, then that promise of greatness was still on the table. But not only that, he would get 2 birds with 1 stone and rid his kingdom of this sorcerer's influence. But he'd only have 1 chance at it, and so he needed, desperately, to get stronger. Upon Kai's rebirth, he became a paladin of perfection, a paladin of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And with no knowledge on just how powerful this sorcerer was, he had to assume that there was no one else in the world more powerful than he was. And so if he wanted to ensure 100% success in defeating him, he himself would have to be even greater than that. He would have to become the perfect warrior. What do you think? This is pretty darn cool, huh? I'm pretty happy with this. I've made an entire subclass just for you so you too can play as a paladin under the oath of perfection. And its tenets are as follows. You seek your ultimate self and move beyond even that. Death only exists to highlight your greatest flaws, and you must smite down all of those who seek to steal, abuse, or replicate another being's achievements. And I'm going to go into all of the details on that subclass very, very soon. But while I have your attention, I don't have a sponsor for this video, so instead I just want to give a very special thank you to all of my patrons. And also, while I have you, I might as well ask you to like and subscribe if you've been enjoying this video so far. But anyway, moving on to my wonderful, wonderful patrons that I have to thank for all the support that they give me and allow me to do what I do. And a very special thanks goes out this week to my very first hero goblin, Bridge on the Lake. And if you want to have your very own custom goblin made up and have it feature on this channel, consider hopping over to my Patreon and supporting me over there, and even getting your hands on some nice little goodies, some nice homebrews. I mean, there's so much there. We got Jujutsu Kaisen, we got the sword fighting anime, what's that, Demon Slayer stuff. I've been doing a whole bunch of hockey skill tree stuff. I've also got some devil fruit stuff, so 2 One Piece skill trees are over on there. It's so much stuff going on over there. So many things that I don't even get to make into videos are all over there. So if you want to check out some fun stuff as well, while supporting me and the channel and what I do, then I would be honored if you could join the Goblin Horde that is over there. But yes, let's go back to the video now, find out how this subclass works, and I'll see you over there. Okay, bye! This whole subclass revolves around the ability Radiant Rebirth, which essentially gives you a quick revival once per day if ever you're reduced to 0 hit points. But when you return, you become resistant to the type of damage that struck you down. There's also some fun anti-magic abilities in there, and there's also some banishing effects you can equip to your smite. These are all, of course, inspired by different Blue Eyes White Dragon cards, but overall, I think they make for quite a cohesive and exciting theme. If you can pick out and choose the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that these abilities are inspired by, let me know. And then at 20th level with this subclass, you get a feature that lets you extend all of these abilities around you to your allies so that none of them will fall and all of them can join you in your idyllic dream of a perfect tomorrow. It is an honor being back running another Monster of the Week video. So thank you Ginny D and Antonio for organizing this. And I also want to give a special thanks to Skyler, the ADHDM, for helping me with this video. And sadly, I don't think he'll make his video. That's a lie. Actually, no, he does have a video. Go check it out when it comes out. If it's not out already, go see it. His stuff is amazing. Do please check out his amazing content over on his channel. He's an incredible talented individual who just makes some really, really cool content. And you've probably actually already seen his stuff. If you watch XP Level 3, if you watch Deficient Master, he edits their stuff, so you probably have seen what he's capable of. But check out his own original stuff too, because it is really impressive, really, really cool. And also check out any of these videos here on your screen. If you want to see the Leviathan skill tree that I designed for Kraken Week last year, that's right over here. Or if you want to even see a whole ass TTRPG that I'm working on, a classless skill tree system, check out any of the videos here in this playlist. Much love to you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.